How's it going, everybody? This is going to be your ultimate guide to Marvel Strike Force for new players, but also this information would help a lot of mid-game players. Basically, we're going to be carving the path through the game that'll lead you to the end game, to the promised land with the funnest, coolest, strongest Marvel Strike Force characters. Let's get right into it, starting with, well, where do you start? Listen, I'm going to assume you've already done the tutorial, you played around with campaigns, you might have unlocked a couple game modes, you're liking the game, and that's why you found yourself on YouTube looking at a Marvel Strike Force video. So I assume you know the very basics. So where should you start putting your time investment? Well, that's going to be a raid team. So raids are one of the most important game modes in Marvel Strike Force. This is going to be where you and your alliance come together to take on strong enemies, go through various nodes, and of course, collect great rewards, which you will need in order to progress your characters. For the Orcus raids, which we assume there's going to be a new one of these soon, we're going to be getting lots of raid tickets, which in the early game and the mid game, really beneficial for you. Crimson Gear, Tier Gear, all kinds of stuff. And in earlier iterations of the raids, whether that be the Doom raids, the Ultimates raids, which is where you're going to start, you're going to be getting, account level appropriate resources. Or if we go to the Spotlight raids, a newer raid, where we're going to be basically having all of our ability materials coming from. A very important resource. So we need to get at least one raid team on the books. And once we have that raid team on the books, it's time to find an active alliance. Activity is king in this game. If you have, 20 people that are like-minded like you, pushing at the same sort of pace as you're comfortable with, which might be full tilt, maybe very casual, that's going to be the most important thing to have the best enjoyment, and make sure you're not scrambling looking for another alliance every week, whether that be because you got kicked out for not being active enough, or you yourself are looking for something more active. Alliance activity is huge, not just for the raids that we saw, but for getting your Stark tech up, for competition in war, and also just to have a really good community around you to kind of help you learn the ins and outs. Now, fortunately, in this game, there's a lot of active alliances that are looking for active bodies. So it's not unreasonable to assume that you could find yourself an alliance that's far beyond your progression, just kind of lets you get carried for a while. They tell you, hey, build up your raid teams. Don't really worry about building up war teams or crucible. Just get your raid teams online so you're contributing in where the alliance needs you to be, and you'll be good. And so once you find yourself in a good alliance, you'll want to work on an arena team. Arena is quite arguably the most important mode to get your claws into early on in the game. Because in the arena, this is where you're going to be getting the premium currency. Of course, it's a mobile game, so premium currency here is going to be power cores. You can use your power cores to unlock characters early, to core campaign nodes, which is what we're going to talk about as the primary use of these cores. Buy extra raid attack if you absolutely need to. Please don't ever do that in the new game or the mid game if you don't have to. But your power cores are going to be very important on making sure you can level up as many characters as possible. And that does come from the arena, and in the early mid game, don't worry, you're not going to see screens like this. You're probably going to be seeing lots of screens with other raid teams on it, which is why we're going to build even more raid teams. So we have one raid team once you start the game. If you're starting in March 2025, Scopely, Marvel Strike Force, they're just giving you the Orcus team, which is a great raid team, but not much else. They're definitely beaten by a different raid team, the Night Stalker team, which we're going to have to unlock Cosmic Crucible to be able to farm up, I believe, Agatha. We're going to unlock Wars so we can farm, I believe, Oath. Blade is somewhere that I'm not quite sure of. Want to make sure that you know what the raid teams are in the current raid iteration, and find out where you need to go to unlock those characters. I'll have a list at the end of this for people that are starting March 2025, but I want to kind of keep some of this information timeless. Once we have all of our raid teams unlocked, we've got our arena team to start to farm legendary characters. So there's various different kinds of legendary characters in the game. There's legendary characters that you just see at a certain team, at certain star levels, you go in, and it's just nodes. And you're going to find those legendary events in the events tab. Now, my account is a very endgame account, so I don't see any of those tabs. But if you're a newer player, you're going to see them here. There's also some newer legendary characters like Shadow King and like Old Man Logan that'll also appear here, but that's a little bit more complicated. Now you're looking at a full new game mode with a distinct map and enemies and teams that you have to have in particular to go for them. And these are the more important legendaries that we're basically going to be farming the characters needed to go through that mode. Hence why it's number 5 on our list of, where to go in the game. After that, it's going to be mythical character unlocks. Yes, we have legendary characters, we have mythical characters. I know it could sound overwhelming, but it's really not. Mythical characters are just from the Dark Dimension here with the epic campaigns all the way over to the far right. And this is where you're going to be unlocking characters such as Kestrel, Scopely Original, Ultron, Ultimus, Doctor Doom, Dormammu, Skrull, Mephisto, and even Odin. And the next one is going to be Professor X. Hype, hype, hype. And the cool thing about going for these mythical characters is as you're kind of just going through the game, you will just be going from Dark Dimension 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to eventually 7 and then finally to 8. And it's going to happen very organically just by kind of keeping up with your raid teams and your arena team. And by the time you reach Dark Dimension 7, Dark Dimension 8, you're going to have a lot more flexibility on reaching outside of just those couple modes. And then finally, PvP modes, and now you're in the end game. This could be PvP modes for you. This could be just getting ready for flash events. We're just leveling up the best plug-and-play characters, the best standalone characters, I'll say. That's going to be more generic terminology, such as, well, Nightcrawler. He may not be on a raid team anymore, but he's a great, great, great standalone character. So that's what we're going to put a lot of our focus into. So why does this work? Well, raid teams flow perfectly into the various milestones throughout the game. This is going to include legendary characters. If you build up your extreme team, that's a great Morgan Le Fay unlock. She's a legendary character, as well as Rogue unlock and Archangel unlock, so it's going to help you get these legendary characters. It also feeds really well into these challenges, which is going to be a game mode that doesn't really pay off too much in the end game, but when you're in the early game, this helps a lot. Getting this additional gold, getting the additional training materials, this is amazing, and what it's asking you to bring, in this case, is going to be cosmic characters for training materials. For the gold, it's going to be, I believe, city characters. Yeah, so Night Stalkers. Look, they fit right in here. Oh, isn't that a quinky dink? All right, and let's talk about legendaries. Though some legendaries are kind of pure luxury, there are others that you have to rely on in the most rewarding parts of Marvel Strike Force. I just showed that Shadow King, a legendary character, is coming to the game today, which if you're a new player, don't worry about it. You'll have time to get him by the time you need him. That is a character that you have to have for Battle World, which is a new mode. Lots of thoughts on that mode. You can check out other videos. It's going to be improved for sure, but it gives the best rewards, Null Shards. We all want to unlock Null. That's going to be super fun. Let's talk about some tips. All right. The most important thing to do, we talked about activity is king in this game. Stay in the loop. Participate in the events as they're coming. This could mean making sure you do a couple extra core refreshes on energy for certain events. It could just mean that you acknowledge and know, oh, I have to do X amount of war attacks to complete this event as much as possible. We have event videos on this channel. There's so many great other content creators for Marvel Strike Force that make event videos as well. You can check out that, but just make sure you're getting in on the events. Promo codes. If you're in the main Marvel Strike Force Discord or in my Discord, which is in the comment section below, every time there's a promo code, I ping everybody. Say, hey, here's a promo code. Go ahead, throw it in. If there's a special promo code, I'll probably make a video on it. All great ways to get some free resources. And speaking of free resources, Twitch drops. This is a new integration that Marvel Strike Force has put into the game. Lots of great resources. The last Twitch drop was 7 million gold, which in the new game and mid-game is a crazy amount of gold. The Twitch drops are going to be starting tomorrow, or I guess tonight, March 10th, whatever day it is today. It's going to be training materials, which for you guys in the new game and the mid-game is a huge bottleneck. So make sure you're staying up to date with whatever the free resources are. And MarvelStrikeForce.com, you're going to need to go there to get your free claims every single day. There's free claims. There's going to be web events that by doing your events, you need to go there to claim it. Sometimes they do fan votes. You're going to get free resources, especially cores. That's all important, so stay in the loop. It sounds like a job, trying to do all of it, stuff, keep on top of everything, which is why if you follow somebody like me, I'll try and take care of it for you. I'll try and make sure I give you all the information that you need. But maybe you don't care to be free to play. Maybe you want to spend a couple doubloons to get ahead of the game. The value of your money. So where is your money best spent? Not on that Premium Plus pass. That is 70, this is Canadian dollars, by the way. That is 70 Canadian dollars just to not have to do your daily activities. Otherwise, 25 Canadian, I believe that's 20 American, and that's going to be your passes. So the best value is the Strike Pass. Don't get it confused with the Battle Pass. The Strike Pass gives you the more gold, more training materials. It's kind of the better bang for your buck offer. And make sure if you do buy offers, you buy it from the web store that we just talked about before. Doing that is going to basically get you Marvel Strike Force points that go towards a milestone that's going to give you lots of free stuff, including lots of new character shards, which is great. The second best value is going to be the Battle Pass. So yeah, if the Strike Pass is the best, Battle Pass would be the second best. We got character shards in there, lots of gear, training materials, and gold in there as well sometimes, most of the time. What I would say, though, when I talk about these passes, is be careful at what level you are when you look at these passes. Now, Marvel Strike Force is doing an amazing job right now, just raining character XP on, or account XP onto the new players, getting them leveled up really quickly. There are levels to the Strike Pass that happen, and the Battle Pass, that happen according to your account level. The earlier passes, they're going to give you like blue gear and purple gear and orange gear. Because we're getting raced through the game so quickly, those materials are garbage. So in the first couple weeks of playing the game, the first 2 weeks probably, by then you're probably in the final pass, I wouldn't buy the passes. Because it's going to have older resources that get rained on you in dumb amounts, so not too worth it there. But hey, if you are loving the game, they do have a, in other games, it's like a hyper bundle. They call it Time Heist. And what the Time Heist is you're going to be buying basically a bundle of characters and resources that'll unlock some pretty nifty characters and teams for you. What I'll say is, just like the Strike Pass, I wouldn't even look at the Time Heist until I am a certain commander level. You can see up here, this would bring you to level 20, and it would give you these teams that are out of date, awful, and not worth even $4. I wouldn't do it. Like, sure, this could help you in the Cosmic campaign and the Villains campaign, but the way we get so many character shards now, so much resources to use in the store to buy the better characters, I just wouldn't do it. It wouldn't be worth my money. 35, these teams are completely out of date. It's garbage. I can't believe they're not updated yet. These teams, same thing. Like, this is not worth 20 bucks American, 25 Canadian. Here we go. Level 65, the Extreme team. Oh, New Warriors and Weapon X. Nope, missed me with that offer. $40, not worth it for that. Hive Mind at 80, level 80, 50 bucks. That ain't worth it either. Oh, the Spider Society, not a bad team, but that's $50 American. Like, you get a lot of great resources here. Basically, when you buy these bundles, these characters come at the levels on the left here. So they come at level 95. They come at 5 stars. Gear tier 16. Ability 6664. Is that worth your money? Is that worth, what is that, 50 American? Money's kind of relative depending on your station in life, right? I don't think these teams are worth it, though. The new Avengers will get you a Green Goblin Classic maxed out unlock. The Secret Defenders will be a decent early game arena team, though I think the Spider Society team probably beats them at even levels, oddly enough. The Spider Society team is currently a raid team, but we're going to talk about teams that are falling out of the meta when we get a little bit later in this video. Then we get to this. Oh, this is even worse. No, don't do this. Like, this is the Spotlight raid team. It isn't technically an essential raid team, but they're probably going to be falling off very soon as well. If you're in the new game, you're just starting out, they might be, sunset by the time you get there. But the Final Strike Pass, you can buy this one once you are at a certain level. This, again, is 50 bucks. This gives you, at a time, an amazing War, an amazing Crucible team early on. Illuminati, again, amazing War, amazing Crucible team early on. Necessary, by the way, out of time, necessary for the Old Man Logan Legendary Unlock. Illuminati, necessary, by the way, for the Shadow King unlock, as are the Annihilators, also necessary for that Shadow King unlock. So if I was to rate the Time Heist value, like, this is the only Time Heist I would get. I would just let my account level up to the point where I was allowed to buy this one. This is the only one I would buy. It's going to come with 12 million gold, 1,200 training modules, and it's going to come with these teams at level 100. So right off the bat, you'd have, right off the bat, you would have 3 amazing everywhere teams. This is the only Time Heist that I think I would say, hey, if you're a spender, this is a pretty decent investment. All right, but again, let's go back to free-to-play tips. Okay, so biggest tips for resources. Cores are meant for energy spending until the end game, and even then, it's probably best to spend them on energy refreshes, whether that be to participate higher in events or to farm gold and training orbs from some of these campaigns. Once you get to the end game, some of these campaigns, it's not even the end game, it's the mid game. Some of these campaigns, in particular, the Villains United Hard, unlocks at, I believe, level 75, is going to be having some of these Node 6s, which are going to have training materials. So I guess we're on the Villains one right now. And it's going to have training materials on this one as well. There's various nodes that have it. If you need help finding them, just let me know. It's typically on chapters 4, 6, and 7 for the Villains campaign, node 6. And if we go over to the Heroes Hard campaigns. Just go over here. This one's going to have the gold materials on it. If we go over to the Nexus one, this is going to have the training materials and the gold orbs on the final node of every single chapter. Now, these resources is what you need to level up your characters, which is the fastest, easiest metric to power teams up. Besides those 3 campaigns, though, Scopely Marvel Strike Force likes to run these showcase campaigns. And on the first chapter of all these showcase campaigns, you will find either gold orbs or training fragment orbs as well. So lots of great resources there. And that's where you should spend your cores, especially as you're climbing through the game. And just a big tip on building your teams. Half building multiple teams will not get you as far as maxing out fewer teams. Because when you max out a team, the lifespan of that team is going to be much longer than if you say, like, here's what I would say. I would rather have one team that's all the way at level 100 with the proper T4s on it, the gear tier 18, 19, then I would rather have 3 teams at level 85 or level 80, gear tier 17 or 18. Like, it's just not really comparable just to the lifespan and the sunk cost of the resources once they're on characters. Unlike some mobile games, there is no invest in this character and get all my resource back button, so be careful with that. And then for you guys in the early game and in the mid game, participation. Once again, participation. Whether it be with your alliance or whether it be yourself. Participation is the highest metric to winning, okay? So while you're journeying through the early, mid game, just play offense. Use all your best characters on offense. Kick the butt out of your opponents in War and in Crucible, because you're going to find 50% of the time they're not going to attack. Or they're going to attack half your teams. Or in War, like 5 of the enemy alliance players are going to play and yours aren't, because, heck, you listen to me and you found yourself an active alliance. And that's how you're going to win more matches than anything else. Defense gets really fun and really tricky once you get to, like, late mid game, end game. Before that, offense. And heck, it's always more fun to play with your toys rather than watch somebody else play with your toys. Like, I hated that as a kid. Sharing is overrated. Sharing is not carried. All right, let's talk about if you're starting right now, or if you're a mid game player starting now. First of all, congratulations. You started when Scopely and Marvel Strike Force are being the most generous they've ever been with free stuff. Raining gold, raining training materials, promo codes galore for new players. If you want to find the promo codes, just go ahead and ask in the Discord, whether it be my Discord, in the comment or in the description below, or the main Marvel Strike Force Discord. You'll get hooked up there for sure, or just check out videos for it. This month, you're going to be just so far ahead of where other people would be if they were just starting out, okay? But I want to talk about some trap teams and some trap characters that right now, yes, they're really good. So current arena team, you know, mythic characters, I talked about that earlier. That would be your Super Skrull, your Apocalypse, your Mephisto, your Odin. Like, those are obviously going to be the best arena characters because they're the hardest to get. That's kind of a long-term investment. Annihilators are in the game right now. They are going to be getting replaced by the mythic characters, but if you get the time heist offer, that's an amazing arena team. If you just wait and farm them out in their various locations, that's going to be amazing as well. And then Shadow King is a legendary character, fits the arena bill really well. But for your first arena team, just use the Night Stalkers, which is going to be the first raid team that you should chase. If you start right now, Scopely just giving you Orcus. That's fantastic. But start chasing Night Stalkers right away, because the other people in your shard, they'll be using their Orcus team, and Night Stalkers absolutely dumpsters the Orcus team. So chase Night Stalkers, you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, getting a great arena team, and you're fulfilling the next raid team. Let's talk about raid teams, though. We have 2 different raids. One raid requires origin tags. That'd be your skill, your mystic, your tech, your bio, and your mutant. Okay? We are due for a new raid to come into the game, and 3 of those teams are long in the tooth and are probably going to be getting replaced. So Scopely's got to make that money. Or, you know, just be patient, you'll get the team eventually. Spider Society, Extreme X-Men, and Hive Mind, in my opinion, they're all on the chopping block. Night Stalkers, Orcus, they're super safe for the next raid tier, I would think. So, although you should probably unlock these teams if you hit the part of the game where you actually need them, I wouldn't, per se, go out of my way to unlock these guys early and start dumping a bunch of resources into them. Like Night Stalkers, Orcus, like, that's a really good base, and by the time you get to, I believe it's like Doom 2 raids, or the Incursion raids, or if you make it all the way to the Orcus raids, then kind of invest in it section by section. I wouldn't blanket out my resources onto these teams. And the Spotlight raids, the way the Spotlight raid went last time is we had Spider Society for the first half, and then it was Alpha Flight. Now we're in Spotlight 2. Well, Alpha Flight became the first half, Uncanny Avengers the second half. I assume the next Spotlight raid, Uncanny Avengers will be in the first half, and Alpha Flight will be garbage. They'll be a dead team. They're bad. You wouldn't want to build them up. They're a defense team, so it's really boring too, right? But we just got Spotlight 2. So although Alpha Flight is definitely going to get kicked out of the next raid, I think the next raid's probably not going to be for like 3 or 4, 6 months, something like that. So, you know, it's kind of like, if you get to the part where you're doing the Spotlight raids and you'll get there very quickly, you're probably going to want to start investing in Alpha Flight, just the bare minimum to beat the nose. Let's talk about legendary characters. It's weird that some legendary characters are garbage, and Scopely, Marvel Strike Force, is doing a really good job recycling legendary characters, giving them reworks, putting them on new teams, a really good job, but not all legendaries are equal. Shadow King, Old Man Logan, we talked about those two guys. They're the best legendaries by far. That one-time heist offer like fast tracks you to getting them unlocked, which is great. After that, Green Goblin, which you get from the new Avengers. He's part of a War and a Crucible team, and that's really, really good because you're getting 2 modes of value out of one legendary character, and that's fantastic. But getting zoned out stat-wise really quickly. Black Bolt and Iron Man, they're on an Illuminati team. That's a newer team. They're going to be really good in War and Crucible, probably for at least another year and a half, so pretty safe to go for their unlocks as quickly as possible. Doc Ock goes with Green Goblin. It's the exact same conversation we just had. Red Hulk, Rogue, Morgan Le Fay, Archangel. Are they the best? No. But you need them to unlock Apocalypse. Apocalypse is like a mythical character that's just kind of off the beaten path. And if you have questions about that, we have videos on the channel talking about the best characters to unlock Apocalypse, though that might have changed recently. So if you just want to leave a comment asking about who you think I would take into Apocalypse, do that, and I'll make sure to answer you. But that's going to be it, guys. Follow those steps, and you will, I promise you, succeed in Marvel Strike Force. Come hang out on Twitch if you got time, or just ask whatever questions you want on YouTube or in the Discord. I answer everything, especially if I get pinged. Don't be afraid to ping me. I don't mind at all. I live for little red dots, which you will too if you play Marvel Strike Force. All right, have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. But most importantly, stay happy, stay healthy, have yourselves a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.